Hello, everyone. Hello, and a very good evening to everyone. Thank you very much again for joining this week live talk on the Man Circle. This is the second time we are having this show for this month, and I really appreciate all of you for taking your time on this very busy Friday, also a very wet Friday, to join today's live talk. Today, I'm going to be the co-host with my brother here, Brother Chong. A
Hi.
very Yes, that's Brother Chong waving his hand, right? Brother Chong is a man that I admire a lot and I look up to him a lot. A man with full of wisdom.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know that.
So for those who just joined us or have joined us for the very first time, allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Michael Wong. I'm a practitioner at the Golden Space, and I'm currently conducting two classes: Nurture Your Relationship and Raise Your Awareness Through Your Heart on our Holistic Wellness membership. All right. I also have a full time job. I'm working in a Japanese trading company, doing physical trading on steel and minerals. Chong, to you.
Hi, I'm Chong. Thank you, Michael, for that introduction. I'm Chong. I'm also a practitioner at Golden Space Malaysia. Well, that's by night anyway. By day, I also work, as a finance and a compliance guy. Well, finance, you know what finance is, and compliance. Basically, it's auditing. And I've been a practitioner at the Golden Space since 2017. So it's great to be here tonight. To spend time with we guys. Yeah, for once. Yeah. Before that, I would just like to say, that it's good to have a men's circle because, a lot of this kind of activities, is dominated by women. I would say, even in Golden Space, there are a lot of women were involved in practicing as well as the work. So, uh, you know, so Mike, would
Yeah,
you like to?
yeah. In fact, Brother Chong here was one of the very first guy who really embarked on this journey. He was already there when I started my journey. So that's why I say in the beginning I look up to him because when I first saw him, he was so, he has really opened up. He's so easily to express himself out. So honest, so genuine. Unlike the general men's
And
society.
yeah, and I suppose, like what Mike says, I mean, doing this kind of work and this kind of thing, sharing and all that, it really opens us up. And me as a guy, as a man, I in the past I felt that I wasn't expressive enough. Yeah, and I felt kind of introverted. I would say,
Uh,
afraid to express myself,
why do
express
you
to
feel
show my
that?
feelings.
Brother, what do you mind me asking? Why do you feel that way?
Actually, to be honest, actually, I'm quite a talkative person, quite a chatty person,
Mm-hmm.
as you would know, Mike. So
Mm-hmm.
even from very very young, when I was very young, I used to
Okay.
talk a lot, you see, and even in
Mm-hmm.
class.
Mm.
So I in my report card, I'll get the remark, they say that I'm a chatterboxer, talk too much, talk a lot in class and
Okay.
all that.
Okay.
And even I
Okay.
used to mix with bigger boys. No, like
Mm-hmm.
as usual, I mean, being a small boy at the time, maybe I was 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
I mixed with teenagers. And
Okay.
no, I remember I was in this guy's place, this teenager's place, and I was fascinated by, I think, some of the things he was doing, and then so I talked a lot. I asked him a lot of
Okay.
questions, and
Mm-hmm.
he told me, hey, you talk a lot, are you? I was asking so many questions. So so all my life, it's been like talking, talking until until I started working really,
Okay. Okay.
and somehow or other,
What
I felt
happened?
that,
What happened when you stopped expressing or stopped
um
talking so much after working?
yeah, because
What do you
no,
mean? Maybe
you
can you
know
can you elaborate a little bit more?
yeah, yeah, sure, what I found out was, at work, especially, when being new at work, so I continued my usual personality, and then I find that, it doesn't work that way,
Okay.
in a work environment, especially, that
Okay.
sometimes, is you cannot just blurt off and say what you want, because
Okay.
sometimes you may just say things that may,
Mm.
are not relevant or whatever,
Not relevant.
so
Yes.
these kind of things that happened, and somehow or other,
Mm.
that's when I started shutting myself down,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
and my first job,
Okay.
I want to say this, yeah, because
Okay. Go ahead.
this part is important. In my first job, I was an auditor in a bank, and
Mhm.
there were no women in the department, in the audit
Oh,
department,
all men.
Yeah, all men. So as an all men,
Mm.
it's like a boys' school again, no? And and I was in that environment, So I
Okay.
tend to, and I use role models. I look at people
Okay.
and then they don't talk much, and I find that yeah, maybe it works if I don't talk so much. So
Uh,
that's how I started to like shut myself down.
so you're saying that you look up for you look up for some of them who is your role model, how they behave, how they express
Yeah, yeah,
themselves, and then you
yeah,
try to okay, you try to
yeah,
learn from them.
yeah,
For you thinking that that is the way to be successful, that is the way to
yeah,
survive in this
yeah,
industry, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I can say that.
yeah. Yeah, that is why we are. Yeah, totally understand what you are saying, and I've gone through that myself, a little bit of myself as well. Which we, I think, that is one of the reasons that we come to today's topic, the heart of man. Right? For all of
Yep.
you who's listening, we men actually have heart. Not that we don't have heart, we actually have heart. Right? Jantung, we have jantung. But the only issue that is that we men don't know how to use our heart to express it out. We don't express it out as often as others, right? And most of because of our, I would say because of our background or our society. When, for example, like me, I come from a boys' school background. When it's all boys' school, the environment is so competitive and so macho. Everybody try to outdo each other. Everybody try to compete
Precisely.
with each other. And if you're perceived or shown your weakness, people will always look down on you and they will label you. It's like throughout the period, even though when we in that persuasive competitive nature, our feeling or our emotion is not that really that important. It is our physical performance that really matters at the time. And throughout schooling time, and then you come out to the our adulthood, like what you say in the working environment, sometimes we have a lot of things we want to say, but because we are afraid people will judge what we say,
Yeah,
right?
precisely. Yep.
Right. So that is the reason why sometimes men's sometimes why people misunderstood men. Sometimes people misunderstood men that they are. I we have one comment from our master. How so very true, brother. Yes, Master Umesh, thank you very much for
Good
joining us,
evening,
Master.
Master.
Yeah, Master Umesh is the founder of the Golden Space, all right? And Lao Shao
Hi,
Shai,
Master.
hello. Hey, Jivan, nice to see you again. Mr. Chong, how are you? From Jivan, hello.
Hi,
Nice to
hi,
see
hi,
you again,
Jivan.
Jivan. Yeah.
Hi, yeah,
So
it's
that,
been a long time, Jivan.
yeah. So
Hi.
that is why people. Hi, Al Chan. True. That is why people misunderstood how men behave. They always think that I would say that all these are brought up in the society from school and then adulthood. It's true. It's from a very long process that we actually shut down our heart. We shut down our emotion. That is why men's are nowadays people think to say that men's are so why men are so they misunderstood the man's feeling, right? Do you agree that, brother Chong?
Definitely. Absolutely. And actually, this is a very common misconception that men don't have feelings. When actually we do. Yeah. Maybe maybe it's in the way we express ourselves that's different, but certainly we do have feelings. We have the same sort of feelings and same degree of feelings as I would say women. You know,
Mm,
and we feel happy, we feel sad, we feel guilt, we feel frustrated, we feel anger, but especially anger, right? That's
mm,
the most accepted kind of emotion that comes from men by society,
mm, mm, mm,
and
mm,
the list goes on and on. No, it's
mm, mm.
so. But the thing is, we are less likely to talk about these
Yes, yes.
feelings.
Mm, mm,
As Brother
mm,
Michael pointed out, it's because we've been shaped that way by society. Society set this set of expectations, for boys,
yeah,
to not to express themselves so much,
yeah,
and to solve problems, while women are
yes,
expected to, to be the good, soft,
yeah,
feeling type.
yeah.
So, and that's how it is. Yeah.
Chong, sorry to interrupt. I think Mr. L Chan is saying he said men in competition, dogs eat dog style. Yeah, yeah, very true.
Very true. Very true.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
There, I think is like what you say. Master mentioned, man must not cry. If not, man is not man. Our
Mm.
tuning given since young. Yes,
Yep.
master. Exactly. That is why
Yep.
I'm the very first one to cry on the live show. Brother Theo,
Yeah.
YK Theo, very true. I was taught since child that mind intelligence is the most important. Yes, most men are programmed, or they even heard such a thing. Men must be men. That we men don't cry. We can shed our blood, but we cannot shed our tears. Those kind of things, right?
Yep.
So
Uh,
we are trying to. Okay, go ahead, brother.
uh, okay. Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I know it's like what YK said just now.
Mm,
Theo said just now. Um, that men are supposed to be the thinkers, while women are supposed to be the feelers.
mm,
And no, and a lot of us now are too much in the head actually.
mm,
But actually, when we bring up our hearts, when we
mm,
open up our hearts and
mm,
express
mm.
from our hearts, we can be so much more powerful than we
Right.
just the mind. Powerful in a very
Mm,
balanced and holistic way.
mm. Yeah, I agree with what you said, and I also think that a real man. What does a real man's strength means? A real man's strength could be the real strength is when he's able to show himself in all side of him, whether he's happy, whether he's sad, without being judged by others. That is real strength, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
And
That's what.
yep. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
It is to continue a bit from that now. It's like we've been so expected to use our brains, our minds,
Mm-hmm.
and not to use our heart so much that we forget that we have a heart. You know, and not only that, because of we have not been trained to express from our hearts.
Yes.
As what Brother Michael says about about expressing our feelings.
Mm, mm,
Although we have them, but we do not have the language to express those feelings. It's for some men, even like me, as I learn to shut myself, or rather, as I learn the hard, the what do you call it, wrongly, yeah, as I learn wrongly to shut myself down from expressing myself, more and more, I found it hard to find the words to express my feelings. And that was
mm.
what happened. So we
Yeah,
in the end, everything gets everything shuts down.
yeah, I agree. Actually, we most of the men, we are always judging ourselves. We're always judging ourselves. That's why we don't dare to really express out from our heart. We process a lot of thinking in our mind before we even dare to say certain things, especially when we are in a big groups, we are in meetings, right? We always process what is the right words to say, right? Even though
Yep.
it is not something that is authentic, even though there is not something that is compassionate, even though there's something that is not right, but
Yep.
we tend to be we follow the flow.
Yep.
So certain, right? You agree with what
Yep.
I say,
Yep.
right? Hmm?
Yep.
you know
Absolutely.
right? So for example, even like we men, when we go out for a gathering, you know right, when we are in a gathering, we don't really talk about our emotion. We don't really talk about how we feel, because we are afraid that we are being labeled. We are afraid that people will look down on us. Our friend might be there, to support us physically, but they are not there emotionally to support us. And we men always, try not to. We always respect another person's territory. We may ask a little bit, but we don't want to be too busybody and continue asking unless we are being asked to give advice. So that is one of the reason, or one of the problem, that why we men cannot open up, right? So I feel that for all those men that are listening here, I would advise all of you, it is all right to seek for help. It is all right to ask if you have a problem that you can't resolve by yourself. It is okay. And to be very specific, ask a friend that you wanted to get advice from. Don't feel shy. They are always there for you, but they just need to get the assurance that you want the help from them. Yes, it's okay to ask a friend for help. right?
It's time to stop judging ourselves. It's time to it's time to stop judging other men, who expresses himself emotionally, and or express or speak about his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better way. Look at what all this has brought us to this point. In the world,
Mm-hmm.
in today's in how we are managing this whole planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And there needs to be balance.
yeah. Just like
Yeah.
my very first time when I saw you, Brother Chong, when I saw you in the Golden Space, you were asked to share in a group. I think in the whole hall about maybe 40-30 person. Been I was there looking at you when you first started to share. I can feel you were sharing from your heart. You're sharing about your experiences. At first, yes, I admit I do judge you in the beginning. I do look at brother this person. What he's I wonder how he can fully express himself. Right? And then when I see your authenticity, I see how genuine you express out without without feeling that vulnerability. I look up to you at the time, and you actually open up my heart without fear. You were in fact, I think you were in fact crying because you were so emotional, talking about your connection, talking about your inner connection. I can still remember that very day. You were wearing your working shirt, long sleeve. Until today, I can still remember. The way
After my
you
audit.
express out, the way you express yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
That brother, I have to say, that really inspired me. To really inspire me at that time to to follow you and open up myself, open up my heart, open up my feelings. So I can say to all of you, he was one of my very true inspiration, man inspiration.
Thank you, brother Michael, for sharing this sharing. Absolutely, and no, there's nothing like really just opening up oneself up, and to really experience one's emotion and feelings as a man. Without with and what comes out of that. Is actually our communication with our partners, or in my case, my wife. Becomes so much better because I'm not afraid of her expressing her
Mm,
feelings as
mm.
much as I would want to express my feelings. So it's great for relationships. Yeah, for those of you guys out there, who have who would like to improve your relationships, this is one of the ways, for a
Yeah,
better communication.
very good advice, brother. Very, very good advice.
Well, I'm just
Now let's
sharing.
let's just look at some of the. Let's look at now. Just look at some of the comment from the audience. Okay, one more time from Jennifer Chua. Men who can show emotions are hot. Like brother Chong here, very hot.
uh, but there are more and more men who are actually coming
Uh,
out.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
coming out. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
say that, coming out, right?
From
Yeah.
Master Umesh, I cry at times too. We are still in humans form and life like everyone else. Yes, agree. Totally agree with Master. Right. From Kevin, I think men prefer to have surface conversation. Yes, like what we said earlier, rather than anything deeper. Very true. My opinion is maybe lack of vocabulary use can sound off putting to a different party.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe brother,
That's
you want
that's very
to you
true.
want to give a little bit more advice on this to Kevin?
That's very true. Earlier on I said, that we men, we feel as much as women, with same depth and everything, and that's why some men can be, and some men can be such great artists, for example. So we do have those feelings. But the way we express it is different because we do
Yes.
not have the vocabulary for it. We don't have the words for it because
Mm,
we are
mm,
not trained that way. In
mm,
fact, even if we were naturally that way, we will be untrained to be that way. It's taken
okay,
away
okay.
from us, so to
Yeah.
speak, by all the social norms and social expectations of the day.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and this is what happens.
Yeah, correct, correct. Very, very good. Thank you, Brother Chong. Okay, from
Thank you.
Vivian. Yes, I remember that episode when Chong opened his heart in describing his connection with the Creator. So touching. Yeah, I was there with her, so we all can remember. Okay, from Jivan.
Thank
This is
you.
a
Yeah,
long one. This is a long one, brother. Let me read
yeah,
it
yeah.
for you so you can look at it.
Sure.
How if the men are perfectionists? Is it? it is very difficult to show or express any emotions, and especially if you need to be strong and holding a senior position in a company. You are too busy solving problems of other stuff, but you never had time to take care of your emotions or your heart or think about your issue because you always get occupied with full meetings and solving stuff problem and their emotional problem at times. I just don't have the time to look into myself unless after all my stuff left.
Would you like to comment on that, Michael? Or
Yes, what
being, yeah.
I agree with what Jiwan said, and he continued with. So sometimes being a strong leader or manager for a big team, it is hard for me to show my weakness to them because I need support. I need support them always all the time. So I do cry in private space and in car when nobody is watching. I think the Yes, you are. I think from what Jivan is saying, I understand that you are sometimes, keeping all the emotion to yourself because you're afraid that by showing your emotion to your staff, they might they might judge you, right? But I would say that it is okay for you to show to them, to show your genuine self, to show how you feel. Not when you show that to them, maybe yourself can understand you more, can understand you as a better person. And when they can understand you as a better person, they understand what you're going through. And probably that can build a better bonding as a team. You know, that would be my advice. If I nowadays, yes, we have a lot of tasks in office. I'm also holding a senior position. We also have a lot of tasks at office. We have to solve all the problems. Yes, sometimes we get distracted by all those things. But what is important is as a human being, as a person, as a leader, not only to show great leadership, but to show that how we project ourselves, how we take care of ourselves to our staff, right? Brother, you want to add on it?
Yes, that's why, I spoke of balance just now. And, again, we must get out of this loop that we are in under present, how shall I say, understanding and present lifestyle, present
Mm,
understanding
mm,
of how we should live our lives
mm,
and
mm,
progress from there to a more
mm,
balanced way of living our lives.
mm, mm,
And it must
mm,
start with us, each one of
mm,
us here, where we are
mm,
not afraid, to show our hearts
mm,
up.
mm,
Yeah, because like what I sort of touched on earlier. Look at what means a fixed role, of just using the mind, without the
mm,
balance of the heart.
mm.
Look what where this has brought us to this
Yes,
day.
yes.
There could be a war in Ukraine, soon, and for example, just example, and so many things are happening to the planet, global
Mm,
warming and all that.
mm, mm, mm,
And you look at all the countries that are run by women presidents, and or women leaders. Sorry, women leaders. The way they handled the COVID situation was entirely different from those from the countries, that were led by men.
mm,
So,
mm.
and I'm not saying that the men are better or the women are better. What I'm saying is there must be some meeting ground in between the two,
Yes, agree,
and
agree.
and it's just like meeting ground between the mind and the heart.
Yes, agree, Chong. Agree. And
So
my another advice to Jivan just now is, you're saying that you already started to cry by yourself, which is a very good sign.
yeah,
You're starting to show emotion. You know, maybe we can advise you. Maybe I can advise you to. Maybe you can start to finding someone that you really trust in your team. Yeah, and share your feeling with him first. Yeah, someone you can really trust, maybe at the same age, who can at least understand you, and then slowly build that rapport up, be more authentic, be more open with him, right?
in fact, I think sometimes if a leader shows some tears, in front of the team, it could work wonders, really, because
Yes.
then they know that, well, after all, they're human, and you know, there's a sort of a bonding, in terms of the humanity in us. Well, it could work that way. I don't know. No, I'm just speculating anyway.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was having my grieving period when my son passed away, that I think I shared before. During that time, I was so how do you say it? I was so sad at one of my working days that I just need to cry, and I call up one of my a bit elderly staff. He was in fact a driver, but he was the most the most senior staff in the office. I just call him to be with me during that period in my car. And I just said, you just sit beside me. I just need to express myself out. I just need to cry. You don't have to be afraid. I'm all right. I just need that moment to really express out myself. And he understand. And he just put at the end of the day, he just put his hand over my shoulder and let me know it's all right. And I can always count on him when I have this kind of feeling again. He's always there for me no matter what time. I can always call him. That kind of support, I really appreciate at the time.
That's a
So
beautiful
it's,
moment, right?
yeah. Yeah, comment from Master Umesh. It is time for men to be true and authentic, because true
Yep.
men, again, as men, were known to be sincere, loving, supportive, and powerful. Yeah,
Yes.
Brother Chong, you want to say something on this one?
Please, absolutely, absolutely, Master Umesh. And in fact, it is Master Umesh right here now
Yes.
who taught me to
Who
open my
taught,
heart.
yes,
Yeah,
who taught all of
this is
us
a
here, yeah?
master,
Yes.
a master of hearts. And
Mm,
thank you, Master Umesh. I would like to take this
mm,
opportunity to thank you
yeah,
today,
thank you, Master.
and always, for your for your guidance and your teachings and your and everything that you brought into my life to change my life. Thank you, Master Umesh.
Yeah, there's another comment from Master. Agree, Brother Ho, we must choose to have meeting points with our partners of opposite sex.
Yes.
Balance, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Too
Come
much
to
working is
the
not good. So we must have a balance in between. What we must know what is we must start all men of us. Of course, we all men, we want to the reason why we work so hard, because we want to provide a better living for ourselves and also to our family member, to the person that we love. There is no wrong in it, but sometimes it take up too much of our time. It take up too much of our time and create an imbalance of our life. I remember those very early years. I was one of them. We work until, even though, we work until what, 9, 10 o'clock, and then we go for, entertainment. We come back like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and the next day we leave at 7 o'clock. So we hardly see anybody in the house. We only see them when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
sometimes Saturday weekend, we also need to go and entertain. We need to go and project. And sometimes, brother, I have to be truthful. I have to be honest. Sometimes it's not that the job required to be me to be there, but because I want to be there to prove, I'm working so hard. This process of climbing up, the corporate ladder.
Yeah. 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 It's a familiar story, and this is how where we have brought ourselves. At the end of the day, let us see where all this is leading us.
Yes, yes. And to have that, when we have that balance in our life, our relationship can also improve. Our relationship not only with our spouse or with our partners, or in fact with our family members. Sometimes we we cannot use the same old perception that all our family members, all our loved one, all they want is what we can provide. Sometimes what they want is very simple thing, just our time, our moment to be with them, the time we share with them. Right? Sometimes it is good to have that balance, to ask, to be authentic and ask them what they really want.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the genuine giving, the authentic giving can
Mm,
only come from the
mm.
heart.
Yes, yes.
It's not a
So that's
planned
what.
thing. It's not like
Right, right.
you plan it.
Yeah. So we have to really we have to really start to open up our heart, start to start to express out. Don't use a lot of assumption. We men tends to assume a lot. We assume what we want. We assume what the other party want. We always assume, but we can be wrong. We should start asking, expressing, and let people know how we feel. Sometimes that can save us a lot of time and effort. Yeah. Agree, Brother
Precisely.
Chong?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No? Yeah. Start asking and start expressing. That will really help a lot of us. Yes. There's another one from Master Umesh. Master Umesh, being vulnerable and authentic at times is also an opportunity to learn and grow to our very next level of life.
Those are
Yeah,
life.
maybe Brother
Yep.
Chong, you want to elaborate?
Um, Life is an experience, and the experience is not complete if we shut parts of ourselves, no, we shut part of ourselves away. It's just like this vulnerability, the vulnerability and authenticity. That is part of experience as well. No?
Mm,
That we need not know, we need not cheat, or we need not be untruthful in order to achieve things. Being authentic, being our true selves, being who
mm,
we
mm,
really are,
mm, mm,
can
mm.
I I guarantee in the long run it achieves more, so much
Yes.
more,
Mm,
and being vulnerable as well, even
mm.
as men.
Yes, agree, agree. There is no wrong to be vulnerable, right? If at that period we are vulnerable, we just have to admit, we just have to find a way to overcome, find
And
a
that
true
will make us,
way. Yes, will make us stronger,
instead
right?
of living a fake life, no,
Yes,
living
yes.
authentically, living vulnerably,
Mm, mm,
will
mm, mm,
actually strengthen us and make us more powerful, like what Master Umesh has just
mm.
said.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's
Because
how it makes us more
most,
powerful.
yeah, because I agree. Because most of the time, we men, we try to, carry forward things in life. When we are not happy, we try to close, we just try to ignore that feeling.
Yeah,
Or when we
ignore
are
it.
sad,
uh,
the key point, we just ignore. We do other
Under
form,
the
like,
carpet.
we under the carpet, we go drink, and then we go just
Yep.
party with our friends. We most of the time, we want to forget those moments only at that period, but we never try to solve the issue. That is the real problem of men. They hope that time will heal himself, but that is not true. We have to face up to how we feel, face up to our very own action, look deeper in ourselves, understand why we feel that way. And if we can't solve it, yes, we always try to solve it by ourselves, but if we really can't solve it, ask for help, seek for advice. There is no, there is no, there is no wrong in that. It is okay to always ask a friend, right? So that is what we are trying to say. It is all right to ask help. It's all right to seek for advice. Don't keep everything to yourself.
Yes.
We men tend to do that, yeah? And
Yeah.
maybe we have more comments. Maybe we look at some of the other comments. Yeah, balance of EQ versus IQ.
Precisely.
That is
Yep.
your and
Success is
from
not
Yim.
just IQ, right?
Mm, mm.
Yeah, it's also EQ.
Oh, Yim said, "My girlfriend loved to see me cry my emotions out." Yes, that is
Wonderful.
when wonderful.
Fantastic.
That is when, yeah, that's when you see your authenticity, your honesty, your true self. Jennifer Chua, Tunem cried publicly on stage before. Yes, I remember
Yep.
he was crying when he was, I think was first time was, sometimes he gives speech, he cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
he was so emotional. Yes, true, true. It's
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
Maybe you see a different part of him, you know, when he cry, as a leader, then you look up to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Master Image, thank you, dear brothers and family, for having trusted me. Yes, it is all our
Thank you,
pleasure.
Master.
Thank you, Master, for showing us the way. For showing way. For showing us to help us to balance our life. I would say, my biggest learning from Master is that he really helped me to balance my life. My life was, before that, it was all about chasing. Chasing this one, chasing that one, chasing everything. He taught me the the other part of life, the other aspect of life that I ignore, the importance of having a balance to show out on my emotion. So I thank you, Master, for that. And I thank you
Thank you,
also, Brother
Master.
Chong.
Thank
And I
you.
thank you,
Thank
Brother
you,
Chong,
Master
for
John.
being such a inspiration when I first saw him.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Michael. And if you have no, and you are in my inspiration now.
So I think we are almost coming to the end of today's live talk, and I thank all of you for joining us. Maybe, brother, you want to say anything else to all the audience?
Yes. On the 27th of March of this year, 2020, it's a Sunday, from 4 to 6 p.m. It's a 2-hour workshop. There'll be a free online self-development workshop by Body, Mind, Soul. And
By
this
me, by me.
workshop, yeah, will be presented by no other than our brother Michael Wong. That's him over there on your screen. And come for it. Yeah, it's free, and you're going to learn a lot from brother Michael, with his wisdom of love from within. So please do come for this free workshop on the 27th of March 2022 from 4 to 6 p.m.
So,
And with that,
so with this, we end our show, and I thank you all for joining us for tonight. Make sure to tune in to join us again for our next live talk. Will be held on the 11th of March, same time. Bring your friend, bring more people to come and join us so that we can, try to help as much people as possible. All right. Thank you very much, and a very good night to all of you. Have a safe trip. Yeah.
uh,
Good weekend.
thank you everyone for your presence here tonight, and all of you have been a great audience. And go out and open your hearts and speak from your hearts and do everything for your from your hearts, guys. Yeah. So power on.
Yeah. Thank
Thank you,
you. Bye
everyone.
bye.
Good night. Bye.